On January 27, 1994, at around 2:30 p.m., a caravan of vehicles, including a white Datsun, drove by the residences of Jesus Mesa, Margarito, Mago, and Andres Reyes, and Antonio Gomez on Lotus Street in San Jose. Jesus Mesa heard Antonio yell "Sureno" at the caravan. Two the vehicles returned and stopped. Several Hispanic males emerged and yelled "Norteno" back. At least one had a gun, and another had a knife. The one with the knife broke a house window and slashed the tires of a car. The group then ran back to their cars and drove off. A short time later, the caravan went to the Washington Elementary School, circled for a while, and then stopped in front. The white Datsun pulled next to Osvaldo Rios's blue car. Members of the caravan got out of their vehicles. Some of them yelled "Nord 14, and gang names, and a group of them ran toward people who had been standing around the school. Meanwhile, defendant got out of the Datsun. He had a gun, which he held at his waist in both hands. He then raised it to eye level, displaying it to others, who began to run. According to Stephanie Navarrete, who was in the passenger seat next to Rios, defendant said, "What's up?" Rios responded, "What? I don't even know you," and started rolling up his window. Navarrete saw a gun and ducked. Defendant then fired several shots at Rios, hitting him in the head and arm. Navarrete said defendant had a look of rage on his face. Members of the caravan quickly returned to their cars and sped away. Rios died at the hospital later that night. Police arrested and interviewed numerous suspects and searched their homes. Steve Gonzalez, Mario Abrego, Ramon Montes, Jesus Badillo, John Mendoza, Rafael Godino, Marlon Mayorga, Mike Ramirez, Manuel Villalbazo, and Richards Villa gave statements to the police. Gonzalez, Badillo, Ramirez, Godino, Mayorga, Abrego, Villa, and Villalbazo indicated they were among a group of people that met at Roosevelt Park and formed a caravan. Montes admitted bringing the murder weapon with him that day. Villa said someone might have mentioned something about a gun while they were at Roosevelt Park. Abrego admitted driving the white Datsun. Mendoza rode in the Datsun. Gonzalez, Badillo, Montes, Abrego, Godino, Mayorga, Ramirez, and Villalbazo indicated they were all out looking for Surenos to fight. 3 Gonzalez referred to them as the enemy. Badillo accused Surenos of thrashing people in the neighborhood. Mendoza was fed up with how Surenos treated him and others, noting he had previously been shot. Mayorga also said he had been chased and shot by Surenos. Villalbazo said there had been problems with Surenos. Gonzalez recounted how the caravan went to Lotus Street and stopped at a suspected Sureno house. Several people got out, chased Surenos, broke a window, and left for the west side of town to look for more Surenos. The group congratulated the person who broke the window. Mendoza, Godino, and Mayorga also acknowledged their presence during the Lotus Street incident. Mendoza, Badillo, Montes, Abrego, and Villalbazo told about other encounters with Surenos on the way to the Washington school. When they arrived, they saw numerous Surenos and got out of their cars to chase them. 4 They returned to their cars and left after hearing gunshots. Police officers testified about statements given by defendant and co-defendants Aguilera and Mimone. 5 Defendant said he joined the caravan at Roosevelt Park, knew someone had brought a gun, and saw it in the white Datsun. He said the group confronted with bad guys, scraps 6 that is, Surenos around Lotus Street before going to the Washington school. Defendant admitted shooting Rios but said it was accidental. 7 He explained that he got out of the car with a gun but did not personally load it and had no plans to shoot anyone. He did not talk to the victim but heard members of his group say something to him. He said the victim shrugged slightly. He saw the window of the victim's car rolling up, then aimed at the door of Rios's car, squinted or blacked out, and then heard shots from the gun. He said he did not mean to shoot him that many times. He knew he did not hit the female passenger because I just made sure of it, I just aimed mostly for the door. Defendant admitted being angry that day. He explained that in general, Surenos all be fucking with my sister when they go to school and, shit, they jump on my homeboys, they're always trying to disrespect. We ain't got to be doing anything, just walking down the street. They pulled guns, they shot at us before, they shot at me before, they tried to stab me. He also said Surenos had stabbed his brother in Colorado. Defendant thought the victim was a Sureno because he had encountered the same car and a group of Surenos some days before. Defendant was angry at them because they had been throwing all kinds of signs to us and laughing at us. He was irked because at the Washington school there were more Nortenos and now the Surenos were claiming nothing. Defendant said he had associated with East Side Familia, ESF, but had disassociated from them in December 1992. He made it clear he did not want to implicate any of the others, and he later helped police find the murder weapon. Police searched the homes, jail cells, and vehicles of those interviewed and, except for that of co-defendant Aguilera, found, among other things, gang-related graffiti such as the number 14, or 14, the word Norteno or Nort, and the initials of various Norteno gangs. Some of these people also had Norteno tattoos. In defendant's bedroom, police found a backpack, on which was inscribed 14, Mr. ESSJ, East Side, and Cisco. They also found undated papers with similar notations as well as ESF and a card on a mirror containing Nort and 14 in a shed behind the house. Police found graffiti like that on defendant's backpack. Officer Michael Piscitello testified as an expert on gangs in San Jose. CFN 2, Anti-P. 137. He traced the origin of today's Hispanic street gangs to prison gangs called the Mexican Mafia and the Nuestra Familia. As noted, gangs are divided into two rival groups, Nortenos and Surenos. The two groups claim different colors and numbers and are in constant conflict for respect and turf. This often escalates from statements and hand signs to physical violence and killings. Piscitello explained that several years ago there was only one Sureno gang and the rest of the San Jose gangs were Norteno. However, from 1989 on, the number of Sureno gangs increased. He opined that now there are 20 to 30 Norteno gangs and 10 to 15 Sureno gangs. As a result, conflict between them has escalated in certain neighborhoods. For example, the Washington school area was originally Norteno turf but over the years has been taken over by Surenos. Thus, he noted a rash of cases emanating from this area during the transition. Piscitello further explained that historically Norteno gangs often fought with each other. In response to the Sureno killing of a Norteno woman, a large number of Norteno gang members met on Cinco de Mayo in 1993 and agreed not to fight each other and instead to focus their attention on Surenos and reclaiming the city for Nortenos. As a result, a concept of uniting together to fight a common enemy was born. According to Piscitello, this was known as San Jose or Sanjo Familia, San Jose family. 8. Piscitello noted he now gets few Norteno versus Norteno cases and most conflicts are between Nortenos and Surenos. Piscitello described various levels of involvement in street gangs. There are regular and part-time associates, hangers-on, and wannabes, bona fide members, who have been formally inducted jumped in by being beaten by members, and the hardcore leaders of the gang. One can also be a member of one gang and an associate of another. Members can resign and walk away. However, some are reluctant because it involves getting jumped out, a process that can be much worse than being jumped in. Piscitello outlined formal criteria used by the San Jose Police Department to determine whether a person is involved with a gang. A credible claim of gang membership by itself is accepted at face value without further corroboration. Otherwise, the existence of two or more of the following circumstances validates gang membership: having tattoos related to specific gangs, wearing clothes adorned with gang-specific logos, possession of gang-specific paraphernalia, being observed associating with known gang members on two or more occasions. being credibly identified as a gang member by third parties, and participating in a gang-related crime. Turning to this case, Piscitello opined that the caravan of Nortenos included members of 7 different gangs: Capital Park Locos, CPL, Eastside Familia, ESF, Barrio Mas Locos, BML, Barrio Northside, BNS, Westside Mob, WSM, El Hoyo Palmas, EHP, and Vario Sanjo, VSJ. 9. Piscitello explained how long each of these gangs had been in existence and then observed that each participant in the caravan was a member or associate of one of these gangs. Piscitello testified in detail concerning the bases of his opinion, which included admissions by the participants, field identification cards indicating gang association or involvement, items obtained in searches, such as letters, lists, magazines, and photographs, graffiti at their residences and on personal belongings and clothing, tattoos and nicknames, and statements to the police. In particular, Piscitello opined that ESF was a relatively new gang, 2 to 3 years old, with 5 to 10 members, including defendant. He based this opinion on the items and observations made at defendant's residence, papers with Norteno inscriptions, nicknames, and Norteno gang initials written on them, including ESF, defendant's tattoos, defendant's admissions in 1992 and again in mid-1993 that he was a member of ESF, and evidence that, on his pager the night of the homicide were the numbers 373, which he told the investigating officer stood for ESF. 10. Finally, Officer Piscitello opined that on January 27, the caravan acted for the benefit of, in association with, or at the direction of all 7 gangs of which they were variously members or associates. To explain his opinion, Piscitello generally noted that members of 7 different Norteno gangs, many of whom had had problems with Surenos, united together for a common purpose, to look for and fight Surenos. Moreover, each member was there to support and back up the others. Referring to his testimony about the San Jose Familia, Piscitello said it helped show how and why the participants acted both for the benefit of their own gangs and for the benefit of each other's gangs. Piscitello then specifically explained why each member of the caravan acted for the benefit of a street gang. As to defendant, Piscitello based his opinion on the extensive gang-related material discovered at his residence, his heavy involvement with ESF, statements about the problems he and his sister had had with Surenos, his participation along with others, and evidence that after the incident, defendant paged another participant, leaving the message, 270418373408187, in which, as Piscitello explained, 373 referred to ESF and 408-187 referred to the San Jose area and Penal Code Section 187.